What's up guys, KP MOTO. It's been quite a while if I have to say so myself, but I figured I would do kind of a little update video and a little walk around and build overview of my KLX110 here, because I'm actually selling it, and by the time this video is up, this bike might be sold. I guess I'm not positive, but supposedly I have a guy coming to get it right now. I love this bike. It absolutely rips for what it is. I mean, it rips in general. I'm not getting out of the pit bike game, that's for sure, and I'll show you why at the end of the video. But let's get into this. So, go from front to back. Very bottom, we got the Irc Tire. Irc, let's see, what size is it? There's the size if anyone's looking. It is a fat tire. It's like the second fattest, or I don't know if you guys heard of MOTOs, but they are also fat. But it really helps the handling a lot in the front, helps in the corners. You don't wash out as much. I did actually have to grind down these. As you can see, it did rub there, so I just took a grinder and kind of just barely. So you got the fat tire. It has BBR dampening rods that extended. I can't remember if it's 1.5 inches or 2 inches. Extend the forks up because this is a non-L bike originally. And I also did the BBR stiff springs, and this thing is basically perfect. Put your fork oil in there, replace all that stuff, and get your front forks basically perfect. I have the KLX110 bars, and I actually went with a little bar riser here because I didn't want to get triple clamps. But I think that's like perfect for me. These KLX bars are a little bit wider than the CRF bars, and that's why I went with that. But I don't know, they're both good bars. Just kind of wanted to try this. And then we're gonna start right here. Just go to the motor. So it's a 2013 bike, non-L. It's got the clutch kit on it, so it's like, it's still a semi-auto. You can shift without using the clutch. Like, it won't stall if you just put it in gear. But basically use this for clutch kits, and I like that you can still use it without the clutch. Say I broke the clutch lever for a couple days and rode without it just fine. But it is also nice to be able to clutch kick and power wheelie and stuff like that. But this motor, you don't even need to clutch kick it to get the front wheel up. Fourth gear wheelies, no problem, it'll power wheelie. It's got the T-bolt, DB parts, 143 cylinder. I kept stock head for reliability, and honestly, this is the perfect setup in my opinion. That goes to a VM26 Mikuni carb. Might be able to see that in there. Got the nice Mikuni carb right there. And that goes to a BBR U-Flow, which turns the air filter around, kind of hides it in there. Much better than having it come out there. You don't have to clean it nearly as often. It doesn't get caked and doesn't bog down if you hit a little bit of mud or water. Extended shifter. Got this just bling part, Pax Racing chain case saver. It's got a BBR tall seat with a custom MOTO seat cover. Pro taper grips. It's got a Pro Circuit T4 pipe, which has seen better days. It got really hot and the sticker melted. It's got the SICK 110's extended brake. In this, I really like this. I have dumped this bike over countless times, bent it right back, still hasn't snapped. So in my opinion, that's good. Got this little T-bolt bling here. Wide foot pegs, gotta have wide foot pegs. KLX110, you must get an engine cradle. You do not want to rip these bolts out of here. So what it does, it bolts, let's see if I can get in there. Bolts to the frame right there, and then it bolts to the foot peg bolts. So that's holding in, so you're not putting all your pressure on the bottom of that bolts. You can rip those right out of the case, and then you need case halves or helicoils, and helicoil is kind of a half-ass fix in my opinion. Then, one of my favorite things about this bike is the BBR, I believe it's the stock comp swing arm. I can't remember what model it is, but everyone runs these, a lot of people do. It's 1.5 inch extension, and in my opinion, it's just perfect. Also got this little brake, I don't know what it's called, bling piece. I did not need to spend how much money I spent on that. That was kind of just stupid, but whatever. Got an extended shock. I can't even remember what brand this one is. In my opinion, I had a different shock on here. The D&M is a good bang for your buck. This one's a little bit cheaper just because I am selling it. But the DNM shocks are really good. Stock gearing with the big bore I found is just fine. Add this thing on here so your chain's not always falling off. And in the back we just got a, what is this? I like this tire. It's a Michelin Starcross 5 Mini. That tire has done me good. It hooks good. Got this here, this little fender brace. I mean, obviously you can still break it, but it's a nice little thing. Hopefully you won't bend your pipe if you do flip it over backwards, and it's a nice grab point. Grab right there and lift it off the stand and whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty simple build. In my opinion, this is like perfect. It's still reliable. It's not hard to jet. Like if you start doing stroker cranks and race heads, then it gets to be a pain to get this thing jetted correctly. Never wants to run right. Whereas this one, fire it up and go just like stock, and it absolutely rips. Give you guys a little sound clip quick. I also did the electric start delete because I never used it anyways. Little plate right there. Get rid of the starter, lose a little bit of weight, which really doesn't matter, but keep the kickstart and And here's the reason I'm selling my KLX. It doesn't look brand new because I already did ride it some. But I bought a brand new 2022 CRF110 right off the showroom floor. And the reason I'm going with this bike versus the KLX, EFI. That is the only reason I went with it. And I actually did put just a slip-on it. Make it a little bit louder, but I have big build plan coming for this. I'm gonna do a build series with it. I already ordered like $800 in parts with it for it, and I'm gonna be ordering more once I sell my KLX. And this should be a great build, good content, and I'll be ripping this thing a lot this summer. So yeah, stay tuned if you want build videos on this. I also got a 400EX right here, me fixing up. I don't know if I'll ride it or not, but I'm gonna fix that up and flip it. So stay tuned.